So I'm going to make this short and quick. So I do think that there is a problem with reaching out to the community when you don't have much traction or anything like that at all. So when you're sitting there, you're putting out stuff, and I know that I shouldn't be talking yet because I haven't put out that much stuff. There's a bunch of, stuff that I want to put out, but I'm getting beat down by the lack of interaction that I have with people. And I know that, the problem is when you have friends and like those friends are supposed to be that base for you. You need some type of base to start off with. But I know that that base has to be yourself because, like, I'm thinking about it. You're expecting the base to be your friends. Your friends are going to start liking your stuff and they're going to keep liking it, even if they don't even listen to the whole thing. You know what I mean? That's the big thing that I'm about. It's just like you don't have to sit there and listen to everything that I'm saying, but you as a person know who I am. And so you should be supporting me that way. The only way that they support you is like if they're following you, that's the only way. Like they'll follow you, but that's about it. And then when you get to other platforms, like they're not really on there or their names are really jumbled up and you can't really find them, like on TikTok. So you'll go on Instagram, you'll get a lot of feedback on Instagram. You go on Facebook, okay, people are still following you there. But then you go on TikTok and then nobody's following you. And you just have to start growing this community by yourself. And you're just like, how is this possible? You know what I mean? Like, how am I supposed to do this without any support? And even though like I don't see much support on TikTok, but I'm still getting likes and stuff like that. That's cool. That's cool. But then when you go on Instagram and you see that nobody's liking your stuff, like what I'm trying to say is that it goes much deeper than just, oh, you're not liking my stuff. Why aren't you liking my stuff? It's more of like, what happens when that person falls off the earth? What are you going to do then? And then it shows that all these people that know this person personally, they know this person, they're not going to try to support that person in any way. Like, for example, Kirsten, for example, like she's homeless right now. And she used to ask for money in a sort of way that was a little weird. She would ask for money and then she would send you a spicy pic. Everybody knows what spicy pic means. So she would send you a spicy pic for sending her money. And she's just homeless right now. So she literally has nothing going for her. And I've talked to her in the beginning. I was like, how about, do you have food stamps? Are you good? Are you okay? And she's like, yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay. And that's about it. That's as far as the conversation goes. And then, years later, like she still follows me and, she sometimes likes my stuff. And I don't have much of a connection with her, but the fact is that she still pings me every once in a while. And you see that when you go online, like people don't ping you anymore. They don't act like you're there anymore. And especially if they've gone to the same school as you, but they don't interact with you whatsoever. Like only if you talk to them before, even if you've talked to them before, they sometimes don't even answer. You know what I mean? Like, and you go throughout life and you meet different people and then you just start getting used to it. You're like, all right, this is how people work. You know what I mean? Like you could have been close. Like, for example, I'm thinking of Trey, for example, like you could have been close. You could have had great conversations. You could have got high together. And then now years down the line, they're like, I don't even know you anymore. And that frustrates me. And I know that I talk about this and people are kind of like, you're just being snobby and you're just looking for likes. It's like, it's not like that. It goes much deeper. Like I said, you can fall off the face of the earth and these people will act like they don't care. They won't even show up to your funeral. You know what I mean? Like I was thinking about going to my ex-girlfriend's grandma's funeral, and I didn't go because, Randy, she doesn't answer me anymore. So that makes it hard to be like, well, does she even want me around there? Like, am I just going to be a nuisance? You know what I mean? Like you're thinking about all these different things, and maybe it's like, no, she wanted you to be there. Of course she wants you to be there. Like, she follows you, but she doesn't answer. So now there's a disconnect. Now it's like, all right, you follow me, but you won't even interact with me. You won't even say hi or anything when I say hi. Like, what are you trying to get at that point? So the problem that I'm looking at is like, what will you do when that person is not there? And what will you do when that person is there and winning? So I know for a fact that if I become famous and these people are trying to interact with me, it's going to feel very fake. It's going to be like, all right, where were you when I was down? Where were you when I was just looking to start something up and everybody didn't have confidence in me? And you have that one friend, that one or two friends that are like, yeah, we've been supporting you the whole time. We've been there the whole time. I've given you a phone call, and I like your pictures and stuff. And we try to meet up. It doesn't work out, but we try to meet up. You know, like you're betting on those people, and you're like, yeah, these people are close to me. This is where everything goes down. But then you have those people that you've talked to before, or and they haven't done anything for you, and then you have to rely on those people later on in life when you become famous. Because are you going to keep hiring strangers, or are you going to hire people that you know? And I think, like, deep down, the big problem that I have with everybody not liking my stuff is that I will hire you, but maybe they're saying like, I'm not good for the job. Maybe that's what they're saying. So I'm trying to make sense of what these people are putting down. You know what I mean? They are putting down something heavy. They're just saying, like, we're not going to support you. We'll follow you. We'll look at your stuff. But, we won't even give you any pointers or anything. It's like, what should you do here? What should you do there? We won't even go that far. You know what I mean? We will just follow you, and we will see how you're doing. And you have to know that we are supporting you in that way. And it's really hard. It's really hard because you're like, no, you're not supporting me. I don't think you're supporting me. You think this is support? And then you look like the person that is begging. And then you think about it like this. It's like, well, you already have me out here as a poor person that's asking for stuff. Because why should I be asking for stuff? Why should a homeless person have to ask for a house? Why does a homeless person have to ask for food? Why do they have to ask for money? And then you have these people online. You have these people, these acquaintances that but you don't really know. But even though you don't really know those people, you'll be liking a person that you have no idea who they are. You have no idea who they are, but you see that they have 17,000 likes on their video, and you're going to like it too, just because you see that they have a bunch of likes, just so that you can be diluted in that little faction. Because now it's like, well, he doesn't know me, and he doesn't care if I support him or not, but I'm going to support him anyway. I think that he should go to the top. It's kind of like America's Got Talent type of shit. And you're like, do you have talent? And of course that person has talent, but then you have to look at the core of it. It's like, that person is a person. You have to treat them a certain way. Like, there's certain people that I won't like their stuff. That's not even true. Like, maybe it's like the girls that I follow, like the OnlyFans girls that I follow. Like, do I like their stuff? Sometimes. There's this one girl that I really like, and she does anime stuff, and she creates her own stuff, and I just think that she's really pretty, so I like all her stuff. But everybody else, I will like every other video. Like if I see two videos in one day, I'll like one of those videos just to show like support. And I don't even care what it's about. Like half the time I'm sitting there with my phone on silent and I'm just scrolling through at night and I see their stuff and I'm just like, I know that guy. Okay, let me like them. So I'm just sitting here like, why can't anybody else do that? You know what I mean? And then I talk about how these people only look for the big things. And you have people having babies and you have people going to like these big extravagant parties, or you have girls that are going out with this guy that has a bunch of money and they're in their car and they're showing themselves off and they're expecting a lot of likes, and they do get a lot of likes for they get a lot of likes for like petty shit, bro. That's how I see it. You know, like, what are they doing? Are they trying to better anybody? And as long as they are staying in their lane and they're not creating too much disruption, like they're not talking about something that they shouldn't be talking about, giving out too much information, uh, giving opinions where they shouldn't really count or something like that. Like, as long as they stick to the status quo, as long as they get that car, as long as they have a baby, as long as they get married, as long as they have that expensive lifestyle, then people will like them. That's it. That's it. That's what everybody strive towards. And you know, like, they'll only post once in a while and they'll still get like 50 likes, 100 likes for posting that one little photo where they haven't posted for months at a time. You know what I mean? And so it makes you question, like, what is the social media thing for? Like, everybody in my school, everybody in Edison High School has basically made it so, like, okay, the only reason why we go on social media is to boast about our accomplishments. And then we follow people that we think should be famous and we give them all of the credit. And anybody else, if you don't know them personally, like if you don't talk to them daily, we're not going to like their stuff. And then you have like people that are like, if I know them, but their photo looks extravagant and they're with a lot of people, or they're in a nice car, they're in a Rolls Royce, you know, they're showing a bunch of money on the screen. Like I see out there, like I scroll and I see that random stuff where it's just like this guy's flexing with, you know, thousands of dollars in cash, you know, 20s, 50s, hundreds, all stacked up, and you know they're showing it to the camera. That's the only thing I'll like. But if you're not doing that, I'm not gonna like it. And then you have people like Muhammad, where he's doing that. He's showing people on his Instagram and his Facebook that he has a boatload of money and that he can act. He's showing people that, and people are liking it, but they don't know the expense of showing that. You know, they don't know the story behind those thousands of dollars. Like Muhammad, for example, sells weed, but he sells an illegal amount of weed. It's illegal anywhere you go. He could create a dispensary and he can go that route, but he doesn't choose to do that. He says that he touched $100,000, and that's great, and everybody's liking it. You know what I mean? They don't get the backstory. They don't understand the backstory. They don't know that he's going to go to jail one day for doing that, and everybody's liking it. You know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to get at. That's the core that I'm talking about. It's like you people only like and follow shit that seems flashy. That's the only way you'll follow. And these people will do the flashy lifestyle. They'll do it. They think that it's for them. Yes, it's for them, but they're doing it for you as well. You know, they like when they go on their Instagram and they get like 100 likes for a photo or for videos. And then they get followers, and these people want to follow them, and they're like, yeah, sure. They're not even doing private accounts. I barely see private accounts anymore. You know what I mean? Everybody's public now. Everybody's looking for those likes. You know, but they don't know the backstory. They don't care about the backstory. They just want to see flashy stuff. And it's just like Smeagol from Lord of the Rings. That's what everybody's like nowadays. They see the shiny thing and they're like, this is my precious. This is my precious. They're holding on to it for dear life. They don't care what's going on around them. They could be getting ugly. Their soul looks ugly. Their hair is falling out. They're just doing this, is doing that. They don't care. As long as they get those likes. As long as they can look at their life and be like, it looks good to everybody else, so it looks good to me. They don't know what they want deep down. And that's where I was stuck at. I'm not going to lie. You know, I was looking at other people and I was like, do they like what I'm doing? But I feel like I was a little bit different though. You know what I mean? Like, yes, I was drug dealing. You know, that's an illegal thing. And yes, I wanted more friends, and I did it because I had no confidence and, you know, this and that. There were reasons to why I was doing it. And the big reason was because I was schizophrenic. But like, let's put that to the side. You know what I mean? Let's think about this a little bit. So basically, who was I following? And it was probably be the lifestyle. I was looking for the lifestyle like everybody else, but I was doing it my own way. Everybody does it their own way. As long as they do it the right way or they do it the flashy way, they will like your stuff. So what was I doing? Was I satisfied with my life? Like, I wasn't satisfied. I was always hungry, but it feels like these people are satisfied. You know, it seems like these people are satisfied because they're doing the flashy stuff. They're getting the man that they want. They're getting the wedding that they want. They're getting the car that they want. They're getting all this stuff. And with that stuff, did you guys hear that? That was somebody burning out. That threw off my focus. But yeah, like, they're getting all that stuff and then they are just content. You know, and I can say the same thing because I see it all the time. Like for Anya, for example, like she talks about, you know, not dissing her or anything, but she talks about how she's the boss lady in the house. She's the one that makes the money. She's the one that's more secure in her lifestyle. Like, she doesn't go out partying. She doesn't have somebody taking care of her. She's doing it herself. She's a boss lady. And I'm like, yeah, you are. No, definitely you are. But is that what you really want? It just seems like you're just talking from a place where it's just like, we've put you there, so now you have to be happy with where you're at. I feel like that's what happens with a lot of people. You know what I mean? And that's essentially it, bro. Like, these people are happy with what they got. They're just happy. They do it for the clout. They like that. And me, myself, I'm just like, well, yeah, I understand that. But what if somebody's really working towards it? What if you see them working towards it? What would you do? Would you just sit there and sit back? Because that's what a lot of people do. They just watch a person fail. And then they get pissed off at that person for failing. And it sucks because it's like, if you see me failing, that means you're probably part of the problem too, aren't you? People hate failing. People hate it. They hate the definition of failing. Now, I say definition because there's different types of failing out there. But really what I see, what I've learned, I'm going to end it here. What I've learned is that they don't know what failing is. They don't know that they are doing it. but they like that feeling because it's flashy. It looks good. It looks like you're putting in hard work. You know, when you put in 8 hours and you come home and you're dead tired, you feel accomplished, you know, and then you still go out drinking. Are you really that tired? Are you really that tired? That's my question for you. Like, you're satisfied. You just worked that 8 hours and now you come back to your apartment. And like, a lot of people can't even, you know, boast that. You know, they go for a drink, they go for a smoke, then they come home and they feel tired. They go to sleep, they wake up, they work another 8 hours and they do the same thing again. And they're like, I've made it. You don't even know what you've made, dude. You know, that's how I see it. Because the way my life has gone, I see it in a different light. Like, basically, I am just watching. I'm the one that's watching. I don't know what's really going on. I'm not really making these decisions. I'm making these decisions, but it's like mind and body. My mind is just watching what my body is doing sometimes. And I have to just narrate what is going on. This is just me narrating. You know what I mean? I'm just narrating. And that's what it comes down to. So yeah, it's going to keep popping up. Like, I'm going to keep bringing this up because I don't think I don't explain it good enough. Like, people just see me say, like, you don't like my shit, and then they're like, oh, whatever, dude. You know what I mean? And it's like, what's really going on behind that saying? Like, what do you mean, like, I'm not liking your stuff? Nobody has the patience to be like, what do you mean? You know what I mean? Nobody has that patience. It's interesting. It's interesting. All right, I'm going to end it there. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Please listen in. If you're feeling bored, I hope that you're listening to this. Like somebody said, they like my voice. So if you like my voice, it's awesome that you're just sitting here listening to this. That would be really cool. I'm going to try to make shorter segments because I make them really long, but I want to get shorter ones where it's just like talking real quick and it's just like, I'm just going to end it there. This is going to be like a little sneak peek just because people have short attention spans. If they can listen to something real quick, fine. I can try to do quick stuff. I'll try because I be making movies. Like, they're consistent movies. Unfortunately, well, fortunately, you know, I get to my point eventually. But all right, I hope you guys enjoyed listening. It's going to be a long day. I'm going to be uploading a lot of stuff and shit, bro. But yeah, let me end it there.